I talked to a guy who wrote an article about how many homeless on the West Coast, particularly San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Seattle, are actually drug addicted. It's like 70%. It's like almost it's most of the problem. At least to the sudden massive increase.
I don't want to argue, but Garcetti says stagnant wages.
Well, that's what I was going to say. He doesn't even fucking mention it in his 6 reasons for homelessness.
But don't you think stagnant wages? Like, remember when you were getting paid less?
Yeah, I had to be on the street. Yes, of course I did.
Slept on someone's lawn.
Hey, I made $169 an hour, and I was on the cliff then trying to get a surfside view.
Yeah,
living on the side of the road.
So I know I've sort of gotten back to this, but it is a kind of like homespun, grandma knows. Like when people start throwing stats, figures, and statistics, and they don't make sense to you, like when they start going, first off, the wage or the minimum wage or the whatever wage, I don't know if they're stagnant or I don't know if they're low, but again, if you go up the street to Home Depot, nobody's coming to your house to pull weeds for under $15 an hour. And that I would consider about sort of the bottom of the barrel. I mean, there's fast food. Beyond that, people want $20, $25, $30 an hour to come to your house and do apply some sort of skill, painting or tile setting or whatever. And it goes up from there to, I got guys at the other shop that are getting $60 an hour because they're skilled fabricators. So I'm not sure about this, like nobody's being paid for their time thing. I talk to people all the time who don't have advanced degrees and don't have titles hanging on the wall in their office who are making nice-ish livings. I employ a lot of those people. So I'm not sure about the myth of the stagnant wage. I will agree that if you work at Wendy's and you have 4 kids and your husband doesn't work, well, yeah, you're going to have a hard time at that point. But I don't know what populace we're talking about.
Well, for instance, the average need of a heroin addict is about $1,800 a month just to maintain your heroin addiction. They're coming up with that, all of them. $1,800 a month.
But if Wendy's paid more, they could get the average need up to $2,200 a month.
There's that, the average heroin need. But here's the thing.
Well, yes.
I got something you're going to like.
Go ahead.
Leanne Tweeden made an observation. I do a radio broadcast with her, and she goes, she goes, wait, how many illegal immigrants have we absorbed in the last year? So she looked it up. About 1.5 million undocumented immigrants have come in to this town without a home, without a job, without a penny, without a country, without documents, managed to find places to live.
Right.
They're not on the street. Or did they push all the citizens out on the street? Is that what you want to say? Or is it not a problem and they figured out where to live?
Yes.
They just figured it the hell out.
A very good observation, and let me add to that. That community that we speak of, and I have sort of firsthand knowledge with living in L.A. my whole life, there's 2 things that community does. Somebody sets up a base camp somewhere in some apartment in Reseda, and then instead of 7 people living in that apartment, there's now 8 or 9 people living in that.
In one thing.
Yeah.
I understand there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, well,
they figure it out.
But also, I don't know when we declared that unhealthy or third world or dangerous or anything else, meaning throughout history, this nation's history and every other nation's history, there was, with Irish people with blue eyes, we had a 2-bedroom house and I have 7 brothers and we all had to sleep and mama made sure that everyone did their chores or everyone got educated, whatever it was.
Not just this country.
Every country.
I interviewed Yakov Smirnoff yesterday.
Yes.
And he was telling me in the Ukraine, when it was a Soviet territory, that they had 10 apartments, 25 people living in these 10 rooms, 1 kitchen, 1 bathroom.
Okay, so sorry, but those people lived in college dorms where everyone had a roommate and there was like 1 bathroom in the middle of the thing and with the shower and stuff. I mean, traditionally, that's how people have lived in the world. So this notion where people had some acreage and a study and a library and a home movie theater, that's kind of a new thing.
Yeah.
So this thing of like these people are going to have to live on top of it. Yes, they will. That's fine. I had three adult males living in a one bedroom for many, many years.
That's
in my life.
Immigrants. The homeless are not going to live anywhere because they're ill.
Right.
They're not going anywhere until you deal with their illness
and addiction.
Yes.
That's what you're talking about. But what I'm saying is of course that's it. It's not about people.
God, it makes me so crazy. I can't even tell you. It makes me really nuts. As a doctor, it's like I'm out, like I feel like the Hulk. Like I'm outraged by it.
Well, the reason you're outraged, and I'm outraged, and we're all outraged, is when you are a sort of linear person who thinks in a way that is dialed in and geared up for problem solving the way an engineer would build a bridge, like the way you would stand on one shore and go, how do we get to the other side? And then someone says, it's got to be strong enough to carry an ox team and 2 carts, and you go, okay. And somebody is in charge of the project and they're just spouting out nonsense all day long. And you're like, when are we going to build this bridge? And we need to and that person is just nonsense after more nonsense.
Bridge, we need a unicorn and the bridge needs to be made of silly string.
Right.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear from my government officials.
And you almost feel like you're being punished as being a guy with an engineering degree who understands that A, we have a bridge, and then B, I have an engineering degree. We can do this bridge. And all you're hearing is something else.
What I'm contemplating doing? I'm contemplating
cost of living.
I want to go
wages. By the way, can I just say this? With the depressed wages are what they are and what they have always been. You say fast food. Okay, you use fast food as an example. But as I told you, when we passed the In-N-Out burger that's right on the wharf or by the wharf in San Francisco, they had a sign up that said $17-18 an hour, meaning they're having trouble getting people who live in that area to work for $13 an hour. So they've had to jack their prices up.
And they still can't find enough people. They have to put a sign out.
They have a sign in the window.
Did some of the homeless come running in to get their job going? Is that what happened? Because it's right there where all the homeless are.
I did not see a line of homeless people running into the San Francisco In-N-Out burger, but there was.
They just need a job. It's depressed wages.
That's how wages work. They need people, and they'll find the price will find itself. Look.
So
you can argue about wages all you want, but there is no relationship to the homeless and depressed wages.
No, it feels like they're trying to make some political case so they can do something else.
Yes, they're always making a political case so they can do something else.
In the meantime, this is manslaughter. In the meantime, they're committing people to die. Lots of them. And I cannot sit with it. I cannot sit with it.
All right. Well, Garcetti says it's depressed wages. Anyway, he gave his top 6, and there was no addiction on his top 6. So he knows better than you, Drew, because he has experts at his disposal.
Doesn't use them.
Listen, I've read many an article that when the homeless experts weigh in, they say it's cost of living and affordable housing.
Oh, please.
How is it that it's something that every human being knows, except for the people that are experts in running the place? And then how long can that remain? You know what I mean?
I want to go get the feds. I want to get FEMA in. I want to get FEMA, like an emergency management thing, like FEMA. Come in here, go, look, it's a humanitarian crisis. This is worse than the goddamn hurricanes. Do something.
I wouldn't mind getting the feds in here.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, it feels like also, I don't know what Garcetti, I don't know what his, not everything has to have a political engine driving it. There's just homelessness. It's in your city. Let's see if we can fix it.
Right.
We don't need a jockey for some sort of political angle.
Ideology about how and why. Just fix it. Let's take care of it. Because if we don't, there's a fuse burning. And that fuse at the end of that fuse is a infectious disease bomb.
When you say it's stagnant wages, so now you have people flopped out on the street everywhere of your city, and you're going to blame small business owners for not raising their wages, or big business or any business owners.
So you're using the homeless, to drive a wedge? So they're worth keeping them on the street so you can make some political capital? Come on. Insane. That's really insane.
Well, what it is here's what's going on. Your policies have led directly to this.
Mm-hmm.
Your fucking insane policies,
yes.
Governor Newsom and Mayor Garcetti, have led to this.
Yes.
You would like to pass those off on business owners,
yes.
or attribute it to something else or somebody else's
yes,
policies.
Absolutely.
It's your fucking house. Your house is a fucking mess. You would like to blame the gardeners who show up once a week, or the pool man. Because of the pool man, no fucking way. You guys live in this house. You run this house. You make the decisions for this house. Your house is a goddamn mess, and you'd like to blame the gardener or the pool man or the trash man. No. This is on you, because you are the mayor. The mayor means guy who runs the city.
What?
You are the governor.
I don't think he knows that.
Governor means guy who runs the state. So when your state is crumbling into a piece of shit and your city is useless and unlivable, then guess who gets the fault? Now, if Bill Belichick goes 0-16 for the next 5 years, guess whose fucking fault it'll be? Because he's the head coach. You are the head coach. This is your team's record. Your team is 1-15, and I'm being generous with the 1. So at what point, now you're blaming the special teams coach and you're blaming the guy who's in the front office. At what point
you're going to blame the guys that wipe down the floor?
Yeah,
anybody.
You blame the guy who runs the buffer at night in the practice facility on the linoleum. At what point do you take some ownership of your team's horrible record?
He took full responsibility and then did nothing.
Okay.